I think long-term, there's 300 billion that's coming into this market. And that's a 1% allocation. That's not even a 2 or 3 or 4%. That's just 1. So I think it's a monster demand shock. But I think MicroStrategy will be good, but not parabolic. Like people just, it's amazing, right? When things are going down, they extrapolate that it's going down forever. It's going to zero.
Yeah.
Okay. Probably getting to a point where you should be a buyer, not a seller, right? And we've talked about this when things go on sale in markets, people run out of the store. Like just stay in the store and buy the stuff that goes on sale. So when it was going down and the discount, it was already trading at a discount to the assets on its balance sheet, then you probably should have been a buyer. Now, when it's trading at a significant premium, because there's a hashtag I have, insiders don't sell at bottoms. If an insider of a company is selling their stock, they know more than you. They don't sell when it's undervalued.
Hedge fund founder and manager Mark Yusko believes that over time, the new Bitcoin ETFs are going to passively bring in $300 billion of new capital to Bitcoin. In his latest interview, Yusko breaks down his outlook on crypto for 2024 and also gives his take on Michael Saylor selling off his Microstrategy stock. In case you missed it, this week it was filed with the SEC that Michael Saylor intends to sell over $200 million worth of Microstrategy shares. What will he do with the money? Saylor says he intends to personally buy more Bitcoin. Yusko explains that this isn't the first time Saylor has completely reinvented Microstrategy and that he is a master at finding arbitrage opportunities in the market. He compares what Saylor is doing with Bitcoin with the infamous trade George Soros did in the 1990s, which ended up breaking the Bank of England. Make sure to stick around to the end of the video where Yusko explains why 2024 is just the beginning for Bitcoin and crypto and why he believes the next 4 years are going to be parabolic. Also guys, only a small percentage of my viewers are actually subscribed. If you enjoy finance content, consider subscribing or liking the video. It's free and you can always change your mind. Now here's Mark Yusko with his Bitcoin outlook.
If Michael's selling shares to buy more Bitcoin, personally, it's because he sees the writing on the wall that the valuation of that business is extreme. It's like all the cloud companies, all the software companies, they're wildly overvalued on a price to earnings ratio. So, but he's a great arbitrageur. He really is. Now, you could argue that, well, maybe he gets on the wrong side of the arbitrage or whatever, but he is a great arbitrageur. And he's done this multiple times. People forget this is not the first time Michael Saylor has reinvented MicroStrategy and pumped the stock to the moon. He went from 3 to 330. Despite all the people shorting it in 2000.
Wait, I think we looked this up. I think it was like 2000 or something like that.
Well, split adjusted. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Now I'm just talking about in real time, it was 300, and then split adjusted. You're right. It's in the thousands.
Oh my goodness. Let me see if I can get this. No, it's not even worth looking at.
No, but just go back and then it went down 97%. No, I'm sorry, 99%. It went down 99%. And he got fined a huge amount, like a lot, by the SEC and had to say mea culpa. And then he restarted and ran the software business for a long time. And then he had the epiphany. The show on the epiphany. He had his epiphany and he talks about it, literally having the epiphany that Bitcoin was this thing. And now, and it really works, right? I mean, the epiphany is this religious, celebration. He is almost a religious figure in the Bitcoin world, right? I mean, people think of him as a high priest and they hang on every word and they put the glowing stuff behind him like St. Michael. So, and the new Bitcoin ETF ad that is I think it's the Shawshank Redemption footage with Michael saying, what's the first best asset? What's the first best crypto asset? Bitcoin. What's the second best?
There's no second best.
There's no second best. And he's not Morgan Freeman, but he's pretty close. I mean, he's pretty close to Morgan Freeman as a voiceover guy. But the reason this could be kind of like Berkshire. What Berkshire did, right? He took a failed company, bought the public company of a failed textile company, converted it into a financial services company. And really what it is, right, what Berkshire Hathaway is, it's a financial services conglomerate. And it owns a bunch of financial services companies and then owns some operating companies too to generate cash flow. And it's a leveraged trade on stable cash flows that never pays taxes because he got this special deal that no one else can get. Now, Saylor's not going to get that deal, but he does have an interesting deal where because he is a publicly listed company, he can issue debt, not at negative cost like an insurance company. Like the really great comparison, if he were to convert the software business to an insurance company business, then it would be just like Berkshire. Because then you're using negative cost of capital leverage to buy an asset. And the reason Bitcoin, it's not exactly like a portfolio of cash flowing companies, not at all like that. So that comparison doesn't work. But in the new age, Bitcoin does have the potential, and I'm not here yet, but I hear people who speak this way. It could be the only asset, right? That you need, right? It becomes this self-sustaining asset that everyone converts their fiat into, and the idea of the ownership of other assets starts to diminish as they get tokenized. And I don't know. I don't think it actually works, but I'll acknowledge that it's not. When the deficits start running out of control at a time when, if we're having this incredible prosperity, right? They're telling us we have this, the greatest economy ever. I mean, that's been actually said in the last 12 months, not the greatest economy ever, but okay. If that were true, then we'd be going the other way. Like, not that I don't want to make this about people, but in the Clinton era, when he happened to be president for that period of time, we came really close to eliminating debt, right? We had surpluses, right? We had surpluses and debt was going the other direction. Go back in history, every single time that an empire becomes focused at the top of very small control, cronyism, or capitalism turns to cronyism, deficits rise, debt increases, seigniorage happens, devaluation of currency happens. Ultimately, the empire collapses and it disappears because of hyperinflation. That is the only choice other than to stop the deficit spending. It's literally just math. So bring it back to Bitcoin. The technology now exists to opt out. Not with everything, not with all your wealth, but with a portion. With the running money, with the FU money, whatever, you can opt out of this race to the bottom. And that shift from inflationary currency to deflationary currency for a portion of your wealth is the smartest thing that any investor can do right now. And it is get off zero, right? Which all of these, thundering herd, they're at zero. They have zero. It ain't going to be zero for very much longer.
Yeah.
And that herd of people coming to this realization is why, look, we've been talking about this for years, you and I, and for the last year on the show. 2024, it's the beginning. This is the beginning of this tech cycle, the beginning of the blockchain era, the beginning of the Bitcoin era. It's so exciting. The next 4 years are going to be just big fun. Big fun.
So there's Mark Yusko on why the world of cryptocurrency, particularly Bitcoin, is on the verge of a significant transformation. Yusko's analysis and his confident prediction that the new Bitcoin ETFs will funnel an astounding $300 billion into Bitcoin signal a potential tidal wave of change in the investment landscape. His insights into Michael Saylor's strategic move to sell off a substantial portion of his Microstrategy shares only to reinvest in Bitcoin shed light on the innovative and sometimes bold maneuvers that define today's financial leaders. Comparing Saylor's strategies to George Soros' legendary trade in the 1990s, Yusko illustrates the magnitude of what's happening in the crypto world today. But the most riveting part of Yusko's message is his projection for the next 4 years. His belief that we are just at the beginning of a parabolic journey for Bitcoin and crypto in 2024 opens up a world of possibilities for investors and enthusiasts alike. Anyway guys, hope you all enjoyed today's video and that provided you with some value. I'll see you all in the next one, and as always, all the best.